Okay, in this training, we're going to cover a little bit about exclusive onboarding and kind of go over the overview of the process. So I'm just going to very quickly kind of review this onboarding process so you can kind of see how it goes. So really with onboarding, there's kind of two starting points. One is via some sort of a prospecting effort where we are going out and finding potential owners and we're calling them and assembling kind of a call list, or I'm sorry, assembling some sort of a call list. And then we call those owners, and then we work with those those owners. And that's one way. We can kind of go outbound. The other way is to get people do some kind of a marketing or networking activity to see if we can get people to come to us. For instance, we might go and put up advertisements or list ourselves as a partner with VRBO and HomeAway on the VRBO and HomeAway website, and then people will come to us. You also may get something assigned to you from a manager. That's kind of an inbound lead that you are given and that you are then working on. So there's kind of two ways that we can go about this, either through our marketing and networking activities, which then bring us inbound leads, or we can go out and kind of do outbound prospecting where we're trying to find people. At that point, and this is trying to find people to sign up for an exclusive program, not wholesale. These are people that we want to do everything for them. We want to basically have them be full service with us, where they just sit back, relax, collect a check, and we take care of everything. Okay, so what happens is you're doing these things, all of it, so that you can so you can find an interested owner, an owner who is potentially interested in working with us. And at that point, the agent or the agent's manager closes the deal, and that's kind of the agent's prerogative. If you're working with a deal and you feel like you can close it and get them to sign the agreement, wonderful, have them do it. And that's when the deal's closed. That's kind of the first step. We get them to say, yep, I want to work with you guys, I'll sign up. And so they sign our agreement, and then at that point, then we're working on actually getting them into our system and kind of doing the onboarding side of it. Okay, so those are kind of the two parts. First part is kind of getting the owners, closing the deal, getting them to sign the contract. The next part is actually setting them up in our system. So those are kind of the two sides of the equation. So let's talk about this. So with closing a deal and working with an owner, we basically want to find out if they're agreeable to work with our full service booking agreement, if they're willing to allow us to do the things in that agreement. That agreement is going to be provided to you, and it's up to you. This is what it looks like, and the owner will look over all of these different terms, and then at the very bottom they'll put their name, their property address, the cut that Lavish Getaways is getting, and they'll sign their name and hit submit. And that way they end up getting that's how they sign up. That's when you've closed the deal. You haven't finished onboarding them, but you've at least closed the deal so that this person is going to move forward with us. Just a couple of quick things. First of all, this second half of the contract where it kind of talks about key terms and then goes down, this is all the contract that we send to the guest. This isn't, you don't even need to read over this. This is just so that they're aware of what we're going to be talking to the guest about. The part that you need to read over and understand is all this stuff above these key terms. There's only like 5 or 6 items. So read over those so that you understand what this owner is agreeing to, and you can answer any of their questions about any one of these items. As you go through and read over the full service agreement that we have with owners, make sure that you're aware of what all this stuff means, and if you have any questions about it, that you know the answers to them as much as possible. Okay, so yeah, that's what you're doing. You're trying to get people to sign that contract. That's the first part. Second part is then to get them set up in the system. Second of all, let's go to another thing. So let's say you have someone. How do you talk to these people? What are you going to say? Well, in our scripts and tips memo, or we have here, has a lot of useful information for full service, or it's actually just, I'm just going to put on here, exclusive scripts. So what these are is, for instance, for an inbound lead, okay, someone who is assigned to you by management or who calls us up, for some reason you're getting in touch with someone who has reached out to us. They're interested for some reason in our services. So what you do is I just will call them, be like, hey Joe, this is Jacob with Lavish Getaways, and let's say, I understand that you from the referral that you send in from VRBO, that you might be looking for help with your vacation property in Hawaii. I just wanted to find out a little bit more about what you're looking to do. sit back, relax, and just let them, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, and we have this property, and my uncle bought it, and it's really nice, and we thought we could do vacation rentals. Well, excellent, awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about the property. And you kind of go through this diagnosis phase. You want to learn about what they're trying to do and to see if we're a good fit for them. Is it furnished? How are they currently handling the caretaking? You know, all of this information, and you can note a lot of this information into their Salesforce profile. And then it'll ask here, do you have, or I always, ask them, do you want to review the contract? And I like to do it with them over the phone if possible. If not, I'll send it over to them and let them review it. But at some point, what you're going to do with them is review the contract with them over the phone, kind of make sure they understand all of these key points. And then if they're cool with everything, say, awesome, well, I'll send over a copy for you to sign, and then get them to sign it. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing with an inbound inquiry. Obviously, with it, when you're going outbound, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're going to have a different script depending on what you're doing. We have one here, for instance, for a long-term rental. If we're trying to see if they're willing to do a vacation rental instead of a long-term rental. And you can read over that, okay? And there may be other ones added in the future to these exclusive scripts as we come up with more strategies on ways to work with exclusive properties. Anyway, as far as the second half of this process goes, once you get them to sign the deal, you make sure you get all the rest of their parameters in Salesforce. The Salesforce video will explain a little bit more about this. And then you'll mark it as ready for upload. The assistant will create the property. They'll submit it for activation by the bookings department. The bookings department will activate it. And then the follow-up items will be handled. This is kind of the last step for you. And there's quite a few of these. I have several videos that are going to explain kind of how some of these follow-up items are handled. And then once that's done, then you mark it as closed and you're done deal. So our goal is to try and get this little pipeline that we've created flowing. Okay, we want to get new leads through our marketing, through our prospecting, work with those people, answer their questions, make sure they're cool with the contract and the agreement we want to set up with them, close the deal. Then we need to set them up in our system, follow up, handle any of the follow-up items, and get them, set up in our system. So that's kind of the overview for how we work with exclusive properties. On any given deal, you should be able to see where you are in the process and make sure that it gets done. If you have any questions, please let us know.